Wonder Woman and Justice League Dark, The Witching Hour issue 1, James Tynion the fourth, and Jesus Marino, of course, on the art.
Yes. Undeniably the stupidest named comic we read this week.
Honestly, the title on this one on its own is long and clunky, but it's not that bad. It becomes stupid when you get to the final issue in the arc.
Yeah.
And then they both make each other stupid by relation.
Because they do, but even so, it is kind of just stupid and long anyway. Just you'd call it just The Witching Hour #1.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Easy.
Fine title.
Yes, and then the last issue in the run in the arc, you just call The Witching Hour issue 2. There we go. We've done it. We've solved your mystery, DC.
What I'd do is I'd be a right dick and jump to issue 5 and count the 3 in the middle as 2, 3, and 4.
No, don't do that. That's awful. That's evil. That might be worse than what they're doing.
I know, or at least, do you know what, like I've seen them do it before, where they're like, "Oh no, we'll use like Alpha and Omega, right? Like as the start and the end ones."
That's more of a Marvel thing, but sure.
No. But what I'm saying is, you see that and you know which is the first and which is the last immediately. Here, I'm like, okay, well, every time I got to reread this story now, I'm gonna go right. Which one's first and which one's last?
Yeah, to be fair, like I only know the other one means instantly because they've used it a few times. The first time I was like, wait, what? Alpha? Why? What's going on?
Really?
An Omega? Why? Like, no, I mean I get what they mean, but like it's just at first it was like, why is this long clunky title? Because I was expecting more. Like, is this the last one? I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. I start and end though, so I mean, it makes
I know,
sense.
but I don't know. It's still clunky. I still don't think that works that well.
It's better. I didn't say it was good.
And it does feel like it's following straight on from Justice League Dark more than anything else. This is the next.
It does, and it gets away with that because Wonder Woman's in a period of just waiting until next month anyway.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I know Tynion has been saying that he's been trying to beg DC to let him do a horror crossover in October for the last couple of years. So I'm not going to say that we're completely sure that this is like only a crossover because we need to fill in some issues of Wonder Woman. Hey, that next arc, make that a crossover. I still think there's an element to that, but I'm sure Tynion jumped at the chance because he's like, yes, October crossover horror.
So hang on, you're telling me Wonder Woman's free for a month in October?
Yes.
Give it to me.
Yes. So this is the first part of this 5-part story, and Wonder Woman, of course, we get more of the backstory, the history of her and Themyscira, where she was, branded essentially, magically branded by the Hecate witches, and Hippolyta kind of quickly realizes this. She, like Diana, kind of accepts the fake excuse to let her sleep easy, and says, "No, I believe my daughter. You three are full of shit. What did you do?" So this is some backstory to set that they've been doing this, and it's not just Wonder Woman, of course, but this is what we're seeing. And Diana goes to the League to try and explain to them, right, magic's kind of on the fritz. This upside man dude, he's real dangerous business. And I actually like that the others like, oh, what about Dr. Fate? Let's get Dr. Fate involved. He's really good.
And they're like, actually,
yes.
Probably tell you about Dr. Fate.
Honestly, my favorite line in the book might be when Chimp asked Diana what they thought about her having like a magic entity, because she lies, she doesn't tell them. In fact, I love the moment where they ask her like, how did you stop him, and she takes her hand off the lasso because she's got her hand on the lasso on her hip.
Just like, just got lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. But Chimp's response is, oh yeah, you lied to Batman about a grave threat that might endanger the entire planet. Yeah, he'll take that extremely well.
Chimp is such a great addition to this book.
Oh, he's good.
It's one of those things that I never would have said, oh, I want Chimp on that team. But it's so good.
He's having some fun battle with Swamp Thing and Man Bat. He thinks all Swamp Thing's husks are creepy. Ultimately, though, the plot of the book is the setup for the arc where something really bad happens. The Hecate infused people start to flare up, if you will. What was it? Witchfire, I think the name of the character is. In the bar. Tracy, by the way, Tracy 13 drops a "Are You Afraid of the Dark" reference, and then it's implied that a lot of the people in that bar also get that reference and play into that on a regular basis.
And some of them groan.
Yes.
Like, oh, really, again?
They're going to start chatting fire, water, earth, and whatever, wind.
Yeah.
So No, so that's what that was. If you didn't get that joke, if you didn't get what that reference was when she says that, the meeting of the Midnight Society shall commence, that is a reference to Are You Afraid of the Dark, which was a horror anthology kids show from people our age's youth, if you're a youngin. But basically, she gets activated and then ignites, and the entire place goes up. Tracy 13 gets grabbed and escapes through a portal. Constantine's in there, and he survives. He just survives because he's Constantine, basically.
Because Constantine. Yeah, because Constantine.
Yeah, but basically when Wonder Woman activates later on, and they're in the basement of the Hall of Justice, and the Hecate beings, spirits, whatever we're calling them, the god, they're manipulating the Justice League, because basically they're debating what to do, and Batman's like, oh, maybe we should, because he calls Zatanna back, they calls Zatanna back to talk to her. It's like, hey, that's making Diana look bad that you want to confer with me out, away from her. She's the leader of the team. But there's talking about what to do after she leaves, and then the Hecate just sort of whisper in their ears, and all of a sudden they just start talking about, Ted Kord keeps complaining about his patrol duty, and later on
it was the monitor duty, wasn't it?
Monitor duty, that's what it was. And later on when Chimp tries to call for help, they're all just talking about Ted Kord complaining still, so they're on some sort of spell.
Yeah. I think if you zoomed in on the word, it just says forget this or something like that.
Yeah,
okay. Or you will forget.
But yeah, Wonder Woman's going ape shit, and basically Chimp's like, right, okay, quick, grab her, let's run through that closet door, and it's a portal that he built to go to the bar. And then destroy the door, and that's how they kind of escape. But that's when we get to the end of the issue, and I was going to say, they get to the end of the issue and they find that everyone's dead in the bar.
And then Constantine's just chilling.
Yeah. Just to set up the threat, just to set up that, okay, grave threat's coming, all hell's breaking loose, we're all kind of doomed, and the Justice League can't help, we're on our own, we have to do this. So, yeah. So
I do love when the when Hecate appears, and everyone's like, oh shit, we can all see this. and Chimp's like, wait, you can see this, right? It wasn't what I just drank.
Yeah.
Which I laughed at the label, the knockoff. It was knockoff Jim Beam. I call it Bim Jeem or something like that.
Which I like that. He only gets that bottle though because they want to shut him up because he's complaining. It's like, here, drink this.
Kind of like, here, have a drink.
Yep. And that's basically the issue. It's pretty straightforward, but it's kind of there to set up the threat. So we get this big dark opening, but there's a lot of fun little jokes, a lot of fun little references. It was a really light and breezy read. It sidelines the Justice League so that it's like, okay, this is why it has to focus on these characters, why they can't get any help, and yeah, I mean, it feels like the next issue of Justice League Dark. Let's be honest, that's what it feels like.
It does, and I hope everyone who's reading Justice League Dark picks this up. And it's why I really hope this is just included in the trade.
Yeah. I would think most people who do read Justice League Dark will pick this up. It feels, and I suppose the argument for doing it this way is that people who didn't try issue 1 and 2 but try this because it's the next big crossover, read this and go, oh, I quite like this. Maybe I should go back and read the first 3 issues.
Yeah, catch up because there's only 3 issues out.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that weird.
And also the advantage of it rushes it out in a month rather than taking longer.
Yeah, you don't get that you don't have that same chance to become forgetful and grow apathetic, where you get the constant flux, and then hopefully after the whole arc, after the month, you feel invested enough that, oh, I want to stick around now. I'm attached now.
And it's also nice just to go, hey, weekly horror event for October, right?
That is also nice. And then we have weekly water and gods event in November.
Yeah.
That's where you go.
Just to go back to this a little bit, we haven't talked much about the art. I really like it, especially the first couple of pages. Diana running through the jungle, I think is gorgeous.
Yeah, the variant cover is also pretty nifty. I just went past that, which is why I mentioned it.
Yeah.
No, the art's very good. Marino's a solid artist. Because obviously one of the downsides to doing the crossovers is that we can't just have Alvaro Martinez on every issue. He's in the dark issue. Marino, I think, is doing both the start and the end, and then Wonder Woman's going to be another artist. I can't remember off the top of my head, but so it's going to be symmetrical if nothing else.
Yeah,
we'll go through it that way.
I do like Marino's art. I do think all the flashback stuff for the opening on Themyscira is stronger than the regular stuff, because obviously he's doing a slightly different style to accommodate that it's a flashback.
Here's a really odd thing that I'm going to say. I think he's Justice League a little bit weak, but except Wonder Woman. I think Wonder Woman looks great at all times, but Superman and Batman and Co. look a little bit.
I agree with with you on Batman. I quite like his Superman in the close-ups. It's Superman in the wide shots feels
Sure.
good.
Actually, was it this book? I had a weird critique to make. I just want to see if it was this book or not. It is. Right, so see the panel where she's showing them the Upside Down Man, and it's like in the middle, and they're all like around, right?
Yeah.
See, when I first looked at that page, I thought Flash's head was Wonder Woman's boob.
Okay, I can see it now that he just happens to be sat in front of her.
Yeah, and because of the round red, and then the gold part of the top of her outfit goes round it. It looks
perfectly above it. Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like part of her outfit, his head, and I thought that's a really weird, distracting look. And it's like, just move his head back a little bit so it doesn't look that way. But it's...
Do you know what I'd have done? Honestly, I'd say, hey, colorist, just give it a slightly different shade of red.
Sure, yeah, do that.
Just to differentiate it.
Yeah, but it made me laugh, and I was like, that's weird.
That never even I never crossed my mind, but now you point it out, I can't not see it.
So that's the thing. But what I really like the art with all of the Justice League Dark characters. As bizarre as this sounds, I feel like, I don't know if he gave more time to the main cast, but like Man Bat looks great, Chimp looks great, Wonder Woman looks great,
Swamp Thing.
Yeah. But all the side characters, because even when we go to the bar, it's not even just Justice League. If we go to the bar, like, I mean, Tracy 13 and Co look okay, but they don't look as good. It feels like there was time spent on some of the other characters a bit more. More details.
Do you know what I'd say? Especially for the side characters in the bar, it doesn't accommodate as much for the core league. Just spend time practicing during the dark characters because it's their book.
Maybe. That's possible. I'm also wondering if it's just a case of, well, Swamp Thing, Chimp, and Man Bat have all got either fur hair or, in Swamp Thing's case, vines. That he spent so much time doing details on them that they come out feeling a lot more polished, like a lot more thought went into them. I don't know.
No, it's true. Like that page that we turn and it's all the Swamp Thing husks.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's kind of like in a video game where your protagonist character model has so much time spent on because it's the one you're staring at the whole time. But some of the NPCs you run past are a bit more simple, a bit more basic. I was getting that vibe from this, bizarrely. And I don't think I've ever felt that way in a comic quite to this extent before, where our main team, our main like 5 or 6 characters look great, and then the rest look good, but not as good.
Yeah, they don't. None of them look bad. No one like I'm going, oh, that's rough art. I never had that feeling. Yeah. I agree. They don't quite have the sharpness or the detail to the others that the core lineup does.
Yeah. But no, this is a solid entry issue into the arc, into the crossover, and I'm looking forward. And it's nice that we get to just do this next week. So obviously I'll be speaking to Matt about it next week, and then after that, hopefully all 3 of us will be on the rest of the issues. But no, it's good. So we should rate it. We should rate Witching Hour issue 1, which from henceforth is what I'm going to call it. So. Yes. What are you giving it?
I'm giving it a 7.5. It's really solid, enjoyable, sets it up, but it's not like amazing.
Okay. It's funny. I was expecting you to rate it higher than me. I was going with an 8.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is it's the most straightforward of all of the, including counting this as kind of a proxy issue 4 of Justice League Dark. It's the most straightforward. It's the most just. Here's some, setup stuff. It's still pretty good.
That's fair.
All the characters are well written.